Close your eyes for a moment and picture this. A continent with enough gold to cover entire nations, enough oil to fuel the world, enough diamonds to dazzle every palace, and enough fertile land to feed billions. Now imagine that same continent with starving children, struggling families, broken hospitals, and leaders begging for loans. That is the paradox of Africa, a land of immense wealth where its people remain poor, while the West grows richer every single day. For the next hour, we are going to uncover Africa's hidden wealth, how the West profits, why Africans continue to suffer, and why this system has lasted for centuries without being dismantled. Africa is often portrayed as a continent of poverty, disease, and instability, but this image hides a powerful truth. Africa is one of the richest places on Earth. Beneath its soil lies about 30% of the world's mineral resources, from gold to uranium, cobalt to oil, diamonds to rare earths. Africa is the foundation of global wealth. Without Africa, Europe and America would not have built their empires. Without Africa's resources, the global technology industry would collapse. Yet, despite all this, the majority of Africans live on less than $2 a day. How is this possible? The answer lies in a system carefully designed to keep Africa dependent. From the colonial period until now, the West has mastered the art of extraction. They take resources, pay little or nothing, process them abroad, and sell them back to Africa at 10 times the price. For example, Africa exports cocoa beans worth billions, but chocolate companies in Europe and America make trillions from them. Africa exports raw oil, but imports expensive refined fuel. Africa exports gold, but ordinary Africans cannot afford even simple jewelry. It is a cycle of exploitation that keeps the wealth flowing out while poverty remains within. Let's talk about specific examples. Take the Democratic Republic of Congo, a nation that should be one of the richest on the planet. It holds over 60% of the world's cobalt, a mineral crucial for batteries, smartphones, and electric cars. Companies like Tesla, Apple, and Samsung depend on Congolese cobalt. But while the world advances into a digital and green economy, Congolese children are dying in mines, digging with their bare hands for scraps. The country earns little, while multinational corporations reap billions. That is the reality of Africa's hidden wealth. Now let's move to Nigeria, Africa's largest oil producer. For decades, oil has flowed from the Niger Delta to fuel Western industries. Yet the communities living in those oil-rich lands face pollution, poverty, and destruction of their environment. Foreign companies like Shell and Chevron earn billions, but the locals live in darkness, without clean water or schools. How can this be considered fair? South Africa provides another story. It is one of the world's top producers of gold and platinum. Yet millions of South Africans live in shacks without basic services. Who controls the wealth? Not the people, but corporations tied to the global financial system. And let's not forget the CFA franc, used by 14 African countries, but controlled by France. Every time these countries make a transaction, France takes a share. Imagine that decades after independence, France still profits from African currencies. This is the hidden system that Africa's youth are beginning to question. Why should a land so rich continue to beg? Why should leaders continue to accept aid when their countries produce what the world needs most? And here's a question for you. Do you think African leaders are powerless? Or are some of them willingly part of this exploitation because they benefit too? Share your answer in the comments, because this is where the truth gets uncomfortable. Now let's bring this closer to ordinary Africans. When resources are stolen, when wealth leaves the continent, it means fewer schools, fewer hospitals, fewer jobs. It means young people migrating in search of better opportunities. It means children dying from preventable diseases, while the minerals that could build hospitals are enriching foreign companies. And yet, when Africans demand change, they are often silenced, sometimes by their own governments, sometimes by external forces. Think about Libya. Before 2011, Libya was one of the wealthiest nations in Africa, with free healthcare, free education, and massive reserves of oil. Muammar Gaddafi had a vision to create a united Africa, with its own currency backed by gold. But what happened? Western powers intervened, destroyed the country, and today Libya is a shadow of what it was. Was it really about democracy? Or was it about controlling resources and preventing Africa from rising? Now let me ask you another question. If Africa suddenly decided to stop exporting raw resources and instead process everything within the continent, how would the world react? Would they allow it, or would they sabotage it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this question strikes at the heart of Africa's struggle. There are also positive examples we can look at. Countries like Botswana have managed to negotiate better deals with diamond companies, ensuring more wealth stays at home. Rwanda has made efforts to refine its minerals locally. Ghana has recently taken bold steps to stop exporting raw cocoa and instead build chocolate factories. These are small but powerful moves that show what is possible when leaders put their people first. But these moves are not without risk. Leaders who challenge the global system often face consequences. Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso was assassinated. Patrice Lumumba of Congo was killed. Gaddafi was overthrown. The pattern is clear. When African leaders try to take control of their resources, they become targets. Which makes us ask, can Africa ever be free without unity? Because divided, each country is weak, but united, Africa would be unstoppable. Imagine if African nations pooled their resources, built their own industries, and set their own prices. Imagine if Africa controlled the cobalt for batteries, the gold for finance, the oil for energy, the cocoa for chocolate. The West would no longer dictate terms. Africa would, but that requires courage, vision, and unity. And unity is exactly what neo-colonial powers fear most. So, what role do you think the African diaspora can play? Africans abroad send billions in remittances every year. They also have influence in global politics, media, and business. If the diaspora joins forces with Africans on the continent, could this accelerate change? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As we move deeper into this conversation, we must also talk about the mindset. Centuries of exploitation have left Africans doubting their own power. Many believe they need aid, foreign investors, or Western approval to succeed. But what if Africans change their mindset and believe that they have everything they need? The truth is, Africa doesn't need saving, it needs unleashing. And here's another challenge: corruption. It's not just the West exploiting Africa. Some African leaders willingly sell their countries for personal gain. They sign bad contracts. They stash money in foreign banks. They live in luxury while their people suffer. So, when we talk about Africa's hidden wealth, we must also talk about accountability. Leaders must serve their people, not foreign interests. As we approach the final stretch of this hour, let's reflect on what's at stake. Africa is the future. Its population is young and growing. Its resources are vast. Its culture is powerful. If Africa rises, the world changes forever. But if exploitation continues, Africa will remain trapped, and the suffering will continue for generations. So, let me leave you with this. Africa's hidden wealth is not just about minerals and ore. It's about the untapped potential of its people. If Africans unite, demand justice, and take control of their destiny, the future will be brighter than we can imagine. But if they remain divided, the West will continue to profit while Africans suffer. Now here's my final question for you. What do you believe is the first step Africa must take to break free from this cycle? Is it unity, leadership, education, or something else? Drop your answer in the comments, because the solutions must come from us, not from outsiders.